He's done it again. A move so seemingly tone-deaf, so politically explosive, that it has united commentators, the public, and even his dwindling pool of sympathizers in one cringing reaction, secondhand embarrassment. This isn't just criticism anymore. It's a palpable national wince. This is Royal Report 24/7, and we are analyzing the breaking news that has just pushed the Duke of Sussex's standing in the court of public opinion past a point of no return. If you thought the security battle was its lowest point, you haven't seen this. The backlash is instant, and it is brutal. To understand this shocking new miscalculation, you need to be inside the reaction. Subscribe and hit that bell. This is a pivotal moment. The details of the shock move are still emerging from multiple, corroborating insider reports. While the exact nature is being legally guarded, the broad strokes, as conveyed by sources to major outlets, are this. Prince Harry has allegedly initiated a formal, legal, or highly publicized challenge related to a deeply symbolic aspect of his children's royal heritage. A move seen not as protective, but as profoundly provocative, though we're talking about matters that touch the sovereign's direct prerogative. The official use of titles, the right to a specific coat of arms, or the formal registration of his children's place in the line of succession beyond the simple public list. The action is reportedly framed by his team as correcting the record or ensuring rightful recognition. But to the establishment, and now to the watching world, it is being perceived as a staggering act of entitled aggression. The phrase echoing through Westminster and across social media tonight, from a usually reserved senior Tory MP, says it all. It's getting embarrassing. And that word, embarrassing, is the key. It's not just anger. It's the cringe of watching someone so utterly misread the room, the history, and their own position. It's the humiliation of a prince who seems trapped in a fantasy of leverage that no longer exists. Now let's break down why this specific move is triggering such a unanimous, pained reaction. First, the timing. Coming on the heels of his security review victory, a victory that already inflamed public sentiment over taxpayer cost. This is seen as a spectacularly poor read of the atmosphere. It's perceived as Harry doubling down, pressing his advantage when the public mood is one of intense fatigue and resentment. While he may see it as seizing momentum, the world sees it as gluttonous overreach. Second, the hypocrisy exposed again. This cuts to the core of the Sussex paradox. He has built a billion-dollar brand on the narrative of escaping the gilded cage, rejecting the suffocating protocols, and seeking a more peaceful life. Yet, with this alleged move, he appears to be clinging to and legally battling for the very trappings and formalities of that system. The question is now a roar. Do you want out? Or do you want in? You cannot litigate your way into the rulebook you claimed was obsolete. It makes his entire philosophy of liberation look, to many, like a convenient marketing slogan, not a principled stand. Third, the target, the children. By allegedly using Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet as the basis for this challenge, Harry has arguably crossed a sacred line in the public mind. While seen as protecting their birthright by his supporters to a wider audience, it is viewed as weaponizing his own children in a bureaucratic war against their grandfather, the king. It frames their identity not as a fact of family, but as a legal claim to be one. This feels, to many, deeply uncomfortable and antithetical to the privacy he professes to crave for them. Insiders close to the royal household describe a reaction of cold, stunned silence. There is no rage, they say, just a weary, definitive disappointment. For King Charles, this is reportedly seen as a direct assault on the sovereign's sole authority to grant titles and arms, a fundamental pillar of the monarchy he heads. It is no longer a family squabble. It is a challenge to constitutional convention. For Prince William, it is the final proof, sources claim, that his brother is engaged in a battle not for safety, but for symbolic victories in a war only he is still fighting. The public backlash is morphing from criticism into something closer to pity. The headline, "It's Getting Embarrassing," reflects a shift from seeing Harry as a rebellious victim to a tragic figure, out of touch and out of step, desperately rattling the gates of the palace he vowed to leave behind. His allies are left trying to frame it as a stand for principle, but the prevailing wind is carrying a different message. It's a stand for prestige he publicly renounced. This move, more than any memoir or interview, may be the one that finally isolates him completely. It alienates the institution on a technical, legal level. It baffles the public, which sees a man fighting for labels after selling his story of freedom. And it risks defining his children's legacy from the start as one of litigation rather than lineage. The Duke of Sussex appears to be fighting for a place in a history book. But with this latest shock move, he may have just written his final chapter in the public's affection. The trajectory is now clear, and it is plummeting. At Royal Report 24/7, we track not just the actions, but the devastating repercussions. This is more than a misstep. It's a seismic shift in perception. To follow the fallout from this stunning strategic error, you must stay with us. Subscribe now, signal your take with a like, share this urgent analysis, and ring that bell. The embarrassment isn't his alone. It's become a national spectacle. This is Royal Report 24/7.